What's up, everybody? It's John's podcast. I'm doing a solo interview today with me, myself, and I for you guys, the viewers. Pretty much, just want to touch bases on mental illness, the problems that are going on in this world today. First things first, I just want to thank you guys for supporting me and everybody that's have my back on this. I'm not far along with it, but so far right now, I'm very grateful for what I'm doing. It's my passion. I love it. Shout out to everybody that's been on my interviews. Shout out to everybody that took the time out their way to even watch this. Eventually soon I'll be coming up with some Spotify auto. So I know some of y'all don't got time to watch the video, but by all means, I appreciate you guys. Just want to take a moment for that. But yeah, first things first, mental illness, it's very a real thing. It's been very common, especially these last few years, what's been going on ever since the whole world got into that pandemic. I feel like a lot of us really had some sort of comfortability in our own way, and then finally when like the world stops and had to slow down, we all kind of just like lost ourselves. And even before that, like I can't say the world was perfect because the massive shooting that was going on consistently. Like I remember, I believe it was 2019, and it was just all year, just all you heard was just massive shooting in schools. And then all this stuff that was going on with the movement with George Floyd and everything that was just happening all at once. It was just crazy. But now it's like we're coming to the end of the year, and it's like it's nothing has changed. It's 2022, and it's been 3 years since I've noticed like what's really been happening, and it's been going on for maybe for years and years. It's just now that everything's public to the eye of a phone, and it's everybody's so quick to reach to a phone before calling for emergencies or calling for 911 or anything like that. And I get it, like you want to capture the moment, whatever, and stuff like that, but make sure you get help first. You know what I mean? Like help somebody and that's in the wrong situation, and get service as much as you can, like call the cops or anything you can do, 911, to help somebody. You know what I mean? And then if you want to capture the moment, then whatever. Do whatever it is you do. But my thing is, man, like I kind of sidetracked myself on that, but back to mental illness. So like for me, I've dealt with that damn near all my whole life. I dealt with so many mental issues that I can't even think to talk about because I've put myself in a dark, dark, dark place. And I'm sure a lot of you have, especially when you were just stuck at home and you couldn't do anything. You couldn't do your normal things, your routine that made you mentally sane and were able to cope with the world. But it's just now that everything's just so free and so grasping to just how do I word it? To just pick up something and then do it. You know what I mean? It's just it takes so much mental process, especially that, we all slowed down and now we're all just trying to get back up and get back on our grind. And majority of us has done that, but some of us, we're still lost. But, just know that there's always it's always time. I've always told myself, in difficult situations. And I remember telling a kid one time because he was struggling with like dealing with time. Because he had to do some time to deal with this situation that we both were kind of in a similar situation. But I told him, I was like, look, man, sometimes, when you're dealing with just time, you have to work with it instead of going against it because it always go against you regardless. So just work with it, work with time. And after that, it just felt like clockwork. It just felt like, time was just passing by because I just didn't go against it. I went with it. And some things, take longer than others, and just because that person has it before you doesn't mean you'll get it. If you truly strive for it, grind for it. But with the mental illness, you really have to like find that help. Don't feel insecure. Don't feel like you'll never find help, no matter what you do. Even if you went to a therapist, it's not good enough. Find a different therapist, different strategies. It just starts with just one little effort. You don't have to do this dramatic effort and just be like, bam, I did this big thing. It felt good just for today. And then tomorrow could be a different story. You know, it's about what really matters is about the aftermath of the emotion, meaning when you when you're already doing something. Say for example, you're going to the gym, right? You go to the gym, you work out, you feel great, you feel you conquered, you just feel good, right? Next day, you're sore, you're aching, you're hurting, you're like, oh, this shit sucks. I overdid it yesterday. I'm just gonna take a break today. And then the next day happens. Then you're like, I'm still kind of sore, isn't that? Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna take off, today until I fully heal. Then the next day comes. I just don't feel like it. You know what I mean? I'm just like kind of like, I'm not just in the mood today. Then the next day, you just same thing. And it just keeps happening. You gotta cut that off. As soon as it starts, cut that off. You know, even if you're sore on one part, go to the next thing that's not sore, work that out. And then the next day, when that part's not sore anymore, go back to that, or your routine, whatever it is you do. Just don't make an excuse not to do it. Make an excuse to do it. And that's just an example for anything. It's not just necessarily going to gym or anything like that. Even though the gym is a good relief for pressure or for things that are going on in your life. Because I know for me, working out was always a mental process and a mental saver for me. Like it kept me sane, it kept me striving, it kept me going, it kept me pushing through those hard times and period of my time in my life. Um, but for the mental part, because a lot of people focus more on the physical appearance and then the mental appearance, and then you're just mentally screwed if that. But you want to find things that can train your mental health to be stronger and to be more straight and narrow, instead of just going everywhere. You know what I mean? And I've seen a lot of people struggle with that. And even for myself, I'm not perfect. I struggle with this my damn self every single day. But meditate, sometimes I'll forget, but meditation is key. And I've talked about this in my past interviews. Um, Meditation for like 5 minutes. I've done it for maybe 10 minutes and I felt a natural high. Like I felt like this feels good. You know what I mean? This feels, like a shoulder, just like a whole weight just left off my shoulders. And I was just happy to even just know that, like, there's something there that can bring you to a mental state. There's tools. You just don't know where to look for it. And that's okay. But just keep looking. You'll find something and go with that. But yeah, for that mental state, a lot of us struggle with that. And I'm just talking about it because I want to let you guys that you're not alone on that. And for myself, I know I've before technology even was what it was today, and it still keep growing and cool, awesome. I feel like it's 50-50 with technology. Like it's great and it's a bad thing. Like everything else in the world has its pros, has its cons, Um, before even all that, like I was saying, I was in a dark place where I couldn't find the help where I can find now, where everything you can just go online and just do research or anything like that. Like I ain't had no, I had a therapist, yeah, but at that time when I had a therapist, I wasn't assured of myself, and I was lost. I was caught up in a time where I was living in a fantasy world, and that was taken from me. And pretty much reality just hit me. I basically smacked the shit out of my face, and I was like, shit. Wow, this is life. This is real, you know. And those for you that uh dealt with that, you know, you definitely understand how that feels. But at the time, I didn't have the sources or anything like that, you know. And the therapist at the time, you know, was an amazing person, but you know, how are you going to help somebody if that person doesn't even know where to start to help themselves? Like she gave me a tool to use that I've used until this day, um, to write myself, to write to myself. A lot of you, um, you know, like for women, you know, they write in their diary. They have a journal that they write into, or even nowadays, if men can do it, that was awesome. But do that, and because I did that, and that's how I got into music, because my problems became my lyrics. And um yeah, that was definitely motivation that actually saved me, you know, from my own mental state where I was at. And I kept pushing and pushing, and then I got into it, and I am where I'm at today. And till this day, yeah, I still struggle with that. And I advise to anybody not to do this solo, not to do this alone, because doing this alone, it's a very, very long process. It's a very long process. You know, at the time when all this happened, I was 15 and I'm 30 now. And I'm still sometimes I'm lost, you know. But that's why I gather with people that deal with the same mental issue that I got, because, you know, it didn't speed the process up, but it does help the process. And I know for a lot of us in this day and age, you know, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I'm scared to even do anything nowadays, to even go to the store, man. Like nowadays, it's like you just don't know what's gonna happen. You know, like the shootings that have been happening recently, and the suicidal shit that's just been happening lately. I mean, yeah, it's on a daily basis, but like everywhere you go, there's always gonna be something happening. But we as a nation, and as you know, we're given a blessing, you know, because in other third world countries, they don't even have near as what we got. Technology, uh, the rights to vote, our rights to even speak. You know, we have enforcement that we can go to when we really need it. And for some of us, that's not truly a blessing. You know, sometimes, you know, it could backfire on us, but that's just because of things that happen in our lives that we don't understand, you know, from way back before our time, you know. But for me, I'm grateful for my family and for my friends that along the way have always been by my side. And I know for you guys, you know, do not necessarily have the family that's bloodline that's there for you, or friends like that. But you know what? For me, what I've learned, it's not about that. It's about the people that have always been by your side, the people that's always been with you through thick and thin. Because at the end of the day, those are the really people that are gonna be with you until the end. You know, even afterlife. You know, I was talking about my last interview. I'm scared about death. I'm scared about the thought of afterlife. But someday, somehow, we're gonna get there, and we're all gonna find out what it is. So why be scared of it? Just face it. It's reality. So do something great instead of taking your own life, instead of taking somebody else's and giving somebody else another problem to deal with in his life. Do something that's gonna represent you and represent what you can do and leave a stamp in this world. Leave a footprint, is what I should say. But all these things that are going on in this world, it's hard to have that positive mindset, but it's a start. You can be the better version of this life, or you can be part of the problem. You know, um, I know for me, I hate problems, but we all got them. We all got issues, but you know, at least for some of us, we're trying to make better in this world by expressing ourselves, by doing what we love, by you know, some people do it for selfish needs, selfish reasons, and that's okay. That's fine. There's no judgment. The only person I feel like that should judge is the creator. And who knows who that is or what that is. How we were created. That should be the only judgment. That should be the only one to judge, I should say. None of us should even have the rights to judge. We have the rights to speak our opinions, and it's up to the opinions if they're valid or not. But judgment, nah, that shouldn't be a part of a conversation. Like people judge regardless. People are gonna do that. We're all human. But um, for me, I I mean, don't get me wrong. I judge. I'm in the service industry. You feel me? That's just something that we low key have in the back of our minds without me acknowledging it because it's just natural. It's a natural cause. But you can be a better version of yourselves, man. But it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard. And it's the only reason why I'm speaking of it because I just feel like, I need to get this off my chest because it's been on the back burner, back of my mind for so long. Yeah, I can have somebody on here talk about it with and stuff like that, but I just wanted to do this solo thing so I can just really speak my mind and just freely just let it all out. And I just want to let my viewers know and people that are listening and new viewers that, at this day and age and this time that we should really, step back and really look at ourselves and what we're doing with each other as the whole nation, not by race, not by color, not by the next president or rights or anything like that. Just step back and really look at what we're doing to each other before anything, because it seems like we're just in a heat of passion and just a heat of moment, and then we just do something dramatic, like taking somebody else's life, taking your own life, um, causing just ruckus and just problems in this life. And we should just live and just make this world, keep going, man. Like we're killing our planet. We're killing ourselves. We're not doing really much for our future. Growing up, I thought that was a motive, like to create a platform, to create something that our generation is going to carry on. I thought that was the motive of living. But it just seems along the way we all lost that because everything that's just happening and things are just building up so fast, like we can barely keep up with it, you know. But I do see a lot of great things that still happen to this day, and I'm grateful to wake up every single day and still see that. But yeah, on a side note though, I'm happy that I get to wake up and I get to do this. I've met great people so far doing this. I just want to keep doing it. I want to keep pushing. Because I just feel like that gives more of a motive for the other as well, not just for myself, to keep doing it, to keep pushing, because like somebody sees you, somebody's like, yo, I see this person. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to be in life, you know? And just because we're not where we want to be doesn't mean we will get where we want to be. It takes time. Like I was saying, patience. Patience is a virtue. I am drinking some coffee. Yes, it's coffee time. Even though it's 12:30 at my time. But on that note, I do truly, love you guys, and I truly love what I'm doing. Um, that's pretty much it, man. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, if you always need, somebody to talk to or somebody to reach out to, you can always reach out to me. Or if you want to get some off your chest, or if you want to do an interview about this kind of subjects and stuff like that, by all means, reach out. You know what I mean? It's not like one of those 1-800 like, suicidal hotlines, but I always am open ears, or mental state, whatever it is, because like trust me, taking your own life and taking somebody else's life is just something that shouldn't even be a subject, or it's even something that even pop up in your head. Like, yes, it's very common. It's in the mind, regardless. It's always there. You just don't notice it. Like when you're mad at somebody or you're pissed off because a group is making fun of you or making you feel some type of way, you're just like, man, and like you think of like the most fucked up shit to think about at the moment. But we can't let those moments become into action, because it's not worth it. You're on the news, of something you just did. You just took somebody's life. Uh, it could be a mother, it could be a father, it could be a brother, sister, best friend. Somebody's enjoyment of life. He took that, and then somebody else has to mourn on that. Has to deal with the fact that they're not there anymore because of somebody else's selfish moment. Think about that. You know, like you may not matter to the person you want to matter to, but you matter to somebody that's meaningful in this life to you or to them. And I just want you guys to understand that it's just not worth it. It's not worth going that route. you know it's worth doing what you love. It's worth showing your passion. It's worth um relating to somebody or to talk to somebody. you know don't talk to the people that won't listen to you, that for a fact that won't. Talk to the people that that's going to listen, that for sure that they're going to be open ears. Maybe at the time they're busy and they don't have the moment, they don't have the time to listen, but they will make time for you. Just be patient. Work on the patience. Work on yourself. And then when you're ready to talk, you could be in a better mindset and you can say things more clear. You can really express yourself, what was going through in your mental process at that time. Sometimes, when you need a break, you need a moment to just think clear, and so you can like speak exactly what you were trying to say or what you were trying to express. But don't do it to the wrong people. Do it to the people that for sure is going to listen to you. Because throughout my years, some people that I've spoken to about some dark things, we don't talk no more. But they know for sure what I've gone through, and I know until this day they'll live with that until they go to the grave. You know, there's some things that I've heard that people have told me, that I'll take to the grave. You know what I mean? Because that's just what it is. That's just something that somebody took upon themselves to trust and then to share with. And I'm grateful for that, because I feel like, that I was somebody at the moment that they can go to. They could have went to anybody else. They could have been gone to their family member, or another best friend that they've known longer probably than I have. But they took it upon themselves to come talk to me, and I'm grateful for that. But just don't shame yourself from that. Talk to somebody. Reach out. But yeah, for you guys that are watching this, I do appreciate you taking your time to even hear me out, to even listen to me what I'm talking about. I just feel like nowadays, because all this has just been going on, I just feel like I just gotta get this off my chest, you know. Um, on a side note though, I did visit uh recent family I haven't seen in a very long time, and it brought joy to my heart, and I'm happy that I was able to do that. Um, yeah, there's some things that still go through my mind that's very hard for me to deal with, but it's the little enjoyments in life that I appreciate so much. It's the little things that matter the most to me. Some big things happen in my life that I'm just like very grateful as well, but it's those little things that hit me hard. Hit me hard in my soul, and it makes me not forget that I have a soul, that I have a full blood pumping heart, and I got a mind of its own that sometimes it likes to go south. But I try every day to have control. I'm trying to mind over matter myself, and sometimes when it's hard, when you don't see the matter, it's kind of like you walking blind. You just don't see it, but you have to keep finding it. You have to keep looking. And for the people that are actually even blind, like can't see what you see, but they hear it. So imagine fearing that. But they wake up every day and they still grind. They still get it. They still live a normal life. They still wake up as a normal person because they don't let that fear stop them. Fear is nothing but just an emotion that we have as part of our brain somewhere, that's just operates just like everything else, you know just like enjoyment. We want more. When it's enjoyment, it's part of our brain that connects, and to able to access our emotions, to be able to access ourselves and just embrace ourselves and be more, and to actually really do these things when enjoyment's involved. But when it comes to fear, it opens up, and it stops the brakes. Wherever it pushes the brakes, like it stops you from doing what you need to do, from going to the store, for example. For me, forget about it. As much I love talking to people, I hate dealing with people. That's a difference. You know what I mean? I hate dealing. The hell, I don't know what's in my head. It's not what you think it is. I am in the food industry, so it's probably some, you know. Shh. Anyways, um, yeah. Like for me, I hate going to the store. I hate dealing with people. I hate dealing with people. It's just one of those things. Just my one of those things. I'm sure it's very common, but I hate dealing with people. But I love speaking with people. It's weird, I know, but it's just one of those things. But yeah, that's just pretty much all that I just wanted to touch up on today. Speaking of that, I do gotta go to the store too. I'm looking forward to that. But I just wanted to take some time and talk about this stuff. I mean, my childhood, I'm sure y'all freaking know about this, but my childhood uh icon, took his own life, because of mental issues that he's been dealing with in life. And I'm pretty sure there's other reasons to that, but I'm not going to get into that. That's their own situation. But like, people that I've grown up to see as icons and, growing up as an only child, you look up to those things because what else do you look up to? As growing up as, no siblings or anybody like that, even for people for siblings that have the same connections, that's great. But for me, as the only child, for anybody else as the only child that grew up like that, uh, there was no relations, with actual people, just only for what you saw on TV, what you grew up to, Power Rangers, you know, Dragon Ball Z, things like that, that really gave you like, I want to be that powerful. I want to be that badass. I want to be that cool. I want to be that guy. And like as you get older, a lot of people that actually did do it and actually became that, that's always a blessing, but you know what I mean? And then things like that, even from music, like people that made music that saved your own life, and took their own life, because of just things that happened. It's hard to keep pushing when you don't have those that saved you. It takes upon yourself to save yourself at that point. Like for me, and I've talked about Linkin Park a lot because that was my savior in music. Like that's what saved me in a lot of my dark narrows growing up as an only child and being bullied and being alone, being the outcaster and just being pushed around. Because in my time, you didn't have phones to record it or anything like that. You just dealt with it. You just get into fights and you just dealt with it. You know, uh, but I know for me that listening to that kind of music, saved a lot of that mental issues because it was relation. Um, and then when Chester, did that to himself or whatever had happened, it took me to a really dark place because I was like, yo, this guy literally saved my life just by expressing himself, depression and stuff like that. Like, I felt like that was the only person that understood me at that time. And at that time, I was getting into a better mind state. But then when that happened, that took me to a deep, dark depression. So I was like, damn, And crazy thing was, I was actually going to see them a month, a month prior to when he did that to himself. So like, it was my first time finally going to see him. Since my whole childhood, I've been wanting to see him. I just didn't have access, or I didn't know I didn't have the resources to find out how to do that. But I took it upon myself to find tickets, and I did. And I was excited, and that happened. And then Robin Williams, all of our childhood could be based on Robin Williams, no matter what movie it was, with Jumanji or Miss Doubtfire or etc. He made happiness, enjoyment to our entertainment. Tell me who can do that besides Jim Carrey, you know. And granted, Jim Carrey, he's done a lot for our years, and still going, just like a lot of the other actors as well. Shout out to them. But I'm only speaking a couple because I can go down a whole line of so many other entertainment actors or music or anything like that I can say that really took a toll on my life as well. But I just want to give a couple of details on that. But yeah, every day you wake up and you can be the icon. You can be that person. You can be somebody that really touched somebody's life that is worth living for, but just know that you're not just doing it for yourself or for the publicity or for that. They're doing it because you want to save somebody's life. But by your enjoyment, by what you do, you can do something in your life that can save somebody else's. So just think about that. Instead of taking, once you save somebody's life, and that's what I try doing. personally me. I try living like that, you know, be, uh somebody's, guys gonna sound cheesy, somebody's Superman or somebody's uh whoever you look up to as an icon or superhero or etc. But in this world and reality, you gotta be your own superhero, man. You gotta be your own icon, your own legend, your own inspiration. And then once you understand what that is and the feeling, it's unexplainable. The emotion and all that is just unexplainable. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta talk about, really. Uh, yeah, that's that, man. I do appreciate you guys taking your time out to listen. Uh, this is John's podcast, and I am out. What's up, everybody? It's John's podcast. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more videos.